Hey girls and dudes, hey. I went ahead and did my brows here just so we're not here forever, but I linked my brow tutorial down in the description box for you guys if you want to watch it. To start off this look, I'll be using the Kat Von D concealer in the shade L1. I'm using a really bright concealer here because we're going to be using some bright eyeshadows and I really want them to pop. And then I'm going to blend it all out with a beauty blender, as you can see here. Then I'm going to set my concealer using this white eyeshadow called White Lies by Makeup Geek. Now onto the fun part. I'm going into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. It's Prism, not Prison. I keep feeling like I'm saying prison, but it's Prism. I'm going into the shade Sphere on a fluffy brush by BH Cosmetics. This is from the set I mentioned in my October favorites that I can't get enough of. Starting in the outer corner, I am going to start blending this out and then also blending it into the crease. Although I'll be doing a winged liner for this look, I want my eyeshadow to actually be more rounded off. So I'm creating more of a dome or a bridge type of shape. So starting in the outer corner and then working it in a really circular or round shape into that crease, and then also placing a little bit on the inner third of the lid, not the inner corner because we got something else we're gonna put there, but in the inner third. So it's just going to be a nice blown out round look. I'm also dipping back into that Sphere shade several times to build up that pigment. I want it to look nice and bright, but also really blown out. So just keep blending, 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 and then blending some more. Next, I'll be using this Sigma gel liner in the shade Wicked. This is going to be our base for our teal shimmery shade. I'm using a flat brush. I believe this is a concealer brush from Kat Von D, but I'm using it for this. I'm going to pack this all over my lid area. Take your time on this is my best advice. I'm just slowly but surely applying this all over my lid area, just lightly packing this on, and I'm placing this all the way up to my crease. It's more my socket area. It's going to be barely touching your socket or crease area. I'm not going past that area. I'm not even going into that area because it will get out of control really quickly, or at least for me. If you can control this, go for it. But for me, I get out of control so easily. So I keep it small, and I guess I can always add later. So I'm just letting it barely touch that crease or socket area. And I'm also keeping this round just like we did before. So I'm not bringing it out to a cat eye or anything like that. Using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that came with this set on the dense end, I'm going to dip it into the Throne shade and then spray it with some Urban Decay setting spray. And then I'm going to pack this all over where that black eyeliner, gel liner we just placed down. That thing that we did, yeah. I'm gonna place that over the black gel liner. It was that easy. And I just couldn't say it apparently. Also, spraying the brush with the setting spray does bring out a little bit more of that metallic look. Next, I'm going to be going back into the Throne shade, but I'm not going to spray it this time. I'm using just a very small amount of product, and then I'm not dipping back in, but I'm using this really small, kind of pointy detailer brush by Makeup Geek, I believe. Yes, Makeup Geek. And I will link it down in the description box for you guys. But here I am blending out that harsh line that was left over from the eyeliner. And I'm holding my brow up here. Since I do have deep set eyes, it is really difficult to get this harsh line blended out without kind of lifting my brow. This also helps maintain the control of the product, so I'm not just blowing it out all over the place. So I'm just using really small circular motions, really keeping this shade only contained to that line, that harsh line, not pulling it up or anything like that. And yeah, just taking my time here because you want to make sure it's all blended out before you move forward. Then I'm going to move on to this really small fluffy brush that's once again from that BH Cosmetics set that I was talking about. I'm going to dip it into that Throne shade. Once again, I'm not going to spray it with any setting spray. I'm just going to work this into the crease. You can see there's some fallout here. This is why I did not do my foundation first, but I'm just running this across the area where we just blended out that harsh line. I'm not pulling this up once again. I want this to be more of a lid accent than a super dramatic look when your eyes open. So when you're looking down or you're blinking, it's kind of like a metallic surprise. So I'm not pulling this too far up towards the brow bone or anything like that. Just using really small, soft motions, really blending and blending and blending and blending. Using a clean Sigma E25 brush, I'm going to be focusing on the area where the throne shade meets the sphere shade. So where that metallic teal shade meets that yellow shade, that's where I'm going to be blending. I'm using really small, light motions, circular motions. That's what I'm doing to blend this out. And once again, I'm not pulling it out very far, blowing this out, keeping it right where it is, and just barely moving that brush. Like, it's almost like I'm not doing anything at all in real life. Up close, it looks like I'm doing something, but in real life, you almost feel like you're not. But it creates this really seamless kind of airbrushed look. So just take your time on this and barely run it across and barely move the brush. And it's just so weird how it will end up blending it out. I don't understand it. It's some sort of sorcery, but whatever, it works. So that's what I'm doing. Going back into that sphere shade on that Fluffy Beach Cosmetics brush we used earlier, I'm going to bring back some of that vibrance into the look that I lost when I was blending. So I'm just adding a little bit up, kind of, it's under the brow bone area, but above where we just blended, if that makes sense. And I'm also going to add a little bit right under the inner portion of my brow, like right under there. Ever since I did that Halloween look, you guys, I cannot get enough of color right there. I don't know what it is. But anyways, once a lot of that product has left the brush, I'm just going to continue to use really light, small circular motions and just continue to blend it out, because why not, right? All right, yes. Going back into the sphere shade with a Sigma E55 brush, I'm going to pack this onto the inner corner kind of area of my lid. Not the complete inner corner, but the inner portion of the lid, I guess. Then I'm going to take a pencil brush. This is once again by Sigma, and I'm going to blend where those two colors meet and make sure they are nice and seamless. For my wing, I'll be using the NYX Epic Ink Liner to outline and fill in my wing. I am so sorry in advance for this focus issue here. I don't know, my camera was having the hardest time. Feel bad for it almost, but also feel bad for you because you have to watch this, but I'm just filling in my wing, yeah. And then I'm using the Sephora waterproof liner to do the Possess method to get my tight line going. Next, I'll be using the Milk Makeup Blur Stick for a primer, just putting this all over my face. And also the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade, what is this? Halo. I always forget the name of this, I don't know why. Placing this all over the face because I want to be glowing like, I don't know what glows. Whatever, I'm just blending this out with my beauty blender until it's blended. Okay, it's getting weird in here. For foundation, I'll be using the IT Cosmetics CC Cream in the shade Fair. It's been the same for the last 30 years. I don't know why I'm having the hardest time. I'm just using a dry beauty blender because this is my dry skin time of year. And using a dry beauty blender just prevents my skin from lifting up and looking all dry and flaky and snake-like. For concealer, I'm going to be using my new favorite of life, which is the NYX Sculpt and Highlight Duo in the shade Ivory, placing this under my eyes, and then I am blending it out with a beauty blender. To set this, I'm using a new product that I got actually during the Sephora VIB sale. It's the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. Yeah, Perfect Setting Powder, setting the concealer like so. Using a Sigma E25 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Saturn and start blending this across my lower lash line. I am obsessed with this orange shade. It is bright but rich at the same time, and I think it's kind of unsuspecting for the look, especially for a holiday look, but I love it. And orange is not just for fall, people. We're bringing fall into winter here. I'm also going to go back into the sphere shade and kind of pull the look all together with using this kind of yellow shade, and it's also going to help blow out that orange color so it's not so harsh. Going back into the Sigma E55 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Lucid and spray it with some setting spray and pop this onto the inner corner of my eye. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Buxom Big Tease mascara. I love this mascara. It gives me really full and kind of spidery, but not too spidery lashes. I don't know. I just love. Okay, moving on. I'm using Noir Fairy Lashes by House of Lashes. And for a contour, I'm using the NYX Duo in the shade Taupe. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. It is just a little tiny dot, and then I blend it out with this BH Cosmetics brush. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this brush. I talked about it in my favorites video. It blends this product so well. It is so soft. it just, oh my gosh, it almost looks airbrushed. I'm obsessed with this brush, this whole product, everything. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and that lightest bronzer shade is, what am I doing? Setting this bronzer is what I'm doing. I'm also going to, you know, sharpen my jawline because it's my favorite thing ever. For blush, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Radiant Blush palette in this shade Terrace. This blush is just, it's so good. And it's just so good. Also, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in the shade Marshmallow on this amazing Another BH Cosmetics brush. This brush with highlighter is my favorite ever. Okay, we're moving fast now. For lips, option number 1 is going to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of the minis from their trio, their holiday trio, in the shade Bittersweet. Love this shade. This is option number 1. Let me know if you like this one down in the comments box. Lip option number 2 is another Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Starfish. I am so obsessed with this shade, and I don't even know who I am anymore because it is warm and orange and everything I normally hate, but I love it so much with this look. I don't even know. Anyways, this is the final look. Let me know down in the comments box which lip you prefer. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey girl, hey down in the comments box because you know I love talking to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.